There's a reason dermatologists keep coming back to one overlooked factor in hair loss. It's not your hormones, it's not your genetics, it's not your shampoo, it's blood flow. Specifically, what happens when your scalp doesn't get enough of it. And once you understand this, a lot of things about hair loss suddenly make sense. Let's start with basic biology. Your hair follicles are living structures. They need oxygen and nutrients to survive. They get those things from your blood supply. Beneath your scalp is a network of tiny blood vessels called capillaries. Their entire job is to deliver oxygen and nutrients directly to your follicles. When that supply is strong, follicles are healthy. They grow hair on schedule. They complete full growth cycles. When that supply is compromised, follicles begin to struggle, they miniaturize, growth cycles shorten, hair gets thinner, weaker, and eventually stops growing altogether. Here's what most people don't realize: the top of your scalp, the crown, and the hairline has the weakest blood supply of anywhere on your head. That is not a coincidence. It's exactly where the vast majority of men lose hair first. The sides and back of your scalp have significantly better blood flow. They also happen to be the areas most resistant to hair loss. Dermatologists have known about this correlation for decades. The question is, why does scalp blood flow drop in the first place? Several things reduce blood flow to your scalp. Some of them will surprise you. The first is DHT itself. Most people think of DHT purely as a hormone that attacks follicles directly. That's true. But DHT also causes something called fibrosis, a hardening of the tissue around the follicle. That hardened tissue compresses the blood vessels around the follicle. Less blood flow, less oxygen. Accelerated miniaturization. DHT is attacking from two directions simultaneously. The second is chronic stress. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol. Cortisol triggers vasoconstriction, the narrowing of blood vessels throughout your body. Your scalp vessels are included. Long-term chronic stress doesn't just spike your cortisol temporarily, it keeps your blood vessels in a partially constricted state for extended periods. Your follicles quietly starve. The third is something almost nobody talks about: muscle tension in the scalp. Your scalp has a layer of muscle and connective tissue called the galea. In many men prone to hair loss, this tissue becomes chronically tight. Tight galea compresses the blood vessels running through it. Researchers have found that men with pattern baldness have measurably thicker, tighter scalp tissue than men without it. This is now an active area of research. Here's where it gets really interesting. Remember Minoxidil, the most popular hair loss treatment in the world? The one originally developed as a blood pressure medication? The reason it accidentally grew hair in its early patients isn't a mystery anymore. Minoxidil is a vasodilator. It widens blood vessels. When it was given orally for blood pressure, it widened blood vessels throughout the entire body, including the scalp. Follicles that had been receiving inadequate blood flow suddenly got more. Hair started growing. That's the mechanism. Not magic, not mystery. Increased blood flow to follicles that needed it. When researchers figured this out, they reformulated it as a topical solution applied directly to the scalp, targeting the blood vessels right where you need them. That's Rogaine. That's what you're buying at the pharmacy. The entire billion-dollar topical minoxidil industry exists because of the blood flow connection, and most men using it have no idea that's what it actually does. So, if blood flow matters, what can you actually do about it? Three things have real research behind them. The first is scalp massage. A 2016 study out of Japan had men perform a standardized 4-minute scalp massage daily for 24 weeks. At the end of the study, hair thickness had measurably increased. The researchers attributed this to increased blood flow and reduced scalp tension. 4 minutes a day, no products, no prescription. The second is exercise. Cardiovascular exercise increases blood flow throughout your entire body, including your scalp. Men who exercise regularly have measurably better scalp circulation than sedentary men. This doesn't stop genetic hair loss, but it maintains the healthiest possible environment for your follicles. The third is managing chronic stress, not because stress is romantic to talk about, but because the cortisol and vasoconstriction connection is real and documented. Chronic stress is slowly cutting off your follicle's oxygen supply. None of these replace medical treatment if you're dealing with significant genetic hair loss, but they're the difference between losing hair at the rate your genetics dictate and losing it faster than you have to. Your hair follicles are not just dying from a hormone, they're being slowly cut off from the blood supply they need to survive. Understanding that changes how you think about everything: why minoxidil works, why stress accelerates loss, why the crown goes first. The science is there, most people just never look at it this way. If this gave you something, subscribe. We drop hair loss science every week. Follow at Balding Out Loud. Hair loss science. No BS.